we're looking forward to this one. Obviously, we went out of the League Cup to Chelsea in December. We're out of the Conference League. The league title is now out of reach. So if there's going to be any chance of a trophy, it's going to be this one. No replays as well, so that it has to end, whatever happens has to end tomorrow night. They've already knocked out Man United at Old Trafford, although it was on penalties in a quite fortuitous way. But with Chris Wilder at the helm, they're definitely in there with a chance. We saw what he did with Sheffield United. He's done a great job there, and I think he's improving Middlesbrough as well since he's come in. So it's not going to be the easiest of games, but hopefully we've learnt our lessons maybe from the Burnley game, and we go into this game full of confidence after swatting aside Leeds.
Yeah. So welcome everyone to the stream. Good morning, everyone. We'll get into the actual match preview in a sec, but when you look at the kind of teams left in the FA Cup, the next round is the quarterfinals. Luton, Chelsea, the big teams left in it. All the big teams got kept apart in this round. So Chelsea, Man City, Liverpool, West Ham, Tottenham, Leicester, and Everton. I mean, how do you rate our chances in this competition?
All the big teams are left in it, aren't they? Let's be honest.
Yeah, so, apart from Manchester United,
but
they're all still in it. Yeah,
the Man United, are they the best of the teams? No, they're not. So
you got a big team as well.
I know, but they got you got City, Liverpool, Chelsea, the big three. Those are the three I'm most scared of. I'm not scared about facing United. I as much as we might lose to them, but we definitely have a good chance of beating them as well. When it comes to Chelsea, City, and Liverpool, it's almost like
you scared to face City.
Yeah, look, they beat us, but they're a better team than us. That's the reality. That
we got their number.
In a cup game, when the going gets they beat us in the final last year, didn't they? In the League Cup final. When it really matters, are we really going to beat them? I question that. So it's obviously we're fourth favourites, I would say, aren't we?
Fourth favourites. Yeah. So after the third, probably fourth favourites. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Out of the last 16, so it's still a long way to go to get this trophy. Obviously, we have performed quite well against the bigger teams, against Liverpool and City, not so well much against Chelsea. We have performed well, but in a cup game, it's a bit different, isn't it? Doing that pragmatic approach in a cup game, it doesn't always work out in the same way. Cup games are usually a lot more open and a lot more gung ho. So whether if we face these, first we have to go overcome Middlesbrough. But if we do, and we face one of these big teams, I don't know, it's going to be very, very difficult to overcome it. Especially Liverpool now just won another domestic cup yesterday. Man City, it doesn't matter what team they play out. A lot of it can depend on injuries at the time.
I must say it was nice to see Chelsea lose yesterday. Definitely was. I definitely brought a smile to my face. Not that I like Liverpool or anything, but I just hate Chelsea. But when you're looking at the kind of form between Spurs and Middlesbrough, we have played them a couple of times over the last couple of years. I think there was once under Poch, once under Jose. If you bring up the form, they're actually on really good form, especially at home. They've won their last 5 home games, Middlesbrough. And they beat Manchester United on penalties. But to be honest, that Man United should have won that game.
Yeah.
They were the much better side, and they just missed their chances on the day. So, I mean, if it's like a repeat performance of that from Middlesbrough, you would expect us to get through it quite convincingly if we can put away our chances.
It's not just that as well. They got that very lucky goal they scored, didn't they?
Yeah.
Well, there was a handball, which they definitely should have been given. I think it got a massive stroke of luck that the rule means is accidental and it doesn't count. But I think that those incidences, that has to be given as a handball when it flicked off on Duncan Watford's hand. So, yeah, they got lucky. Bruno missed some gilt-edged chances. They were missing loads of chances, to be honest. And then they managed to sneak from penalties, very late in the day. So I think for sure, if Middlesbrough is putting a similar performance, Tottenham should have too much against them. But look, we've seen recently Championship clubs at home in good form. You saw how Forest battered Leicester. What was it, 4-1, 4-2?
Yeah.
In the cup, Forest beat Arsenal 1-0 not so long ago. So when a team is full of confidence and they have that momentum, they'll be confident going into this game. They'll look to put us under pressure, especially early on. They'll come flying out the traps. I've got no doubt about it. They're going to be really super aggressive. So we have to be wary of that. But as long as we're riding that out, like, there's no issue why we shouldn't comfortably win this.
Yeah, I completely agree. If you bring up the last performances against Middlesbrough, like I said, we played them once under Jose, I believe, and once under Poch. That one in 2020, I mean, they took us to a replay in the FA Cup with a draw away at the Riverside, 1-1. Do you remember that game at all? How did that game pan out? I can't really remember it.
Yeah, I think we were 1-0 down, and then Lucas Moura scored a header in the second half, made it 1-1. We took it back to the lane, and I'm pretty sure Lo Celso scored in the 2-1 win. We were 2-0 up, and then they got a late consolation. Under Poch in the league, that was actually, I remember that game, September 2016. That was potentially the real birth of Son, if I remember, because I think Kane was injured, and then Son stepped in, and he was brilliant. He scored 2 amazing goals, and then he went on from strength to strength from then on, pretty much. So Son definitely has previous against Middlesbrough, but yeah, look, they've been relegated. They haven't been in the Premier League for a while before then, so we haven't played them too many times, but we have a decent record against them when we have faced them.
Yeah, so if you bring up the Middlesbrough lineup, this is the lineup they did play in the last game. Apart from Watmore, I think he used to play for Sunderland, right?
He did, yeah.
Apart from Watmore, do you know many of these other players in the team?
I know Paddy McNair, the centre-back.
Oh, he used to play for Man United.
He used to play for Man United. And apparently he has 4 goals this season. So that's
really
impressive for a centre-back. Lumley
must be quite strong from set pieces then, Middlesbrough.
Which is not good to hear if that's true. I think, I don't know. I don't know whether it must be if he's scoring goals. I know Lumley was the hero last time out against Man United, although it wasn't Elanga who missed the penalty. I think he just skied it, if I remember rightly. So it wasn't like he was brilliant, but I think he was brilliant in normal time. And then obviously the centre mid, Johnny Howson. He used to play for Leeds. He used to play for Norwich, I think. So he was a good player. And I think they're the Watmore's partner there, Spora. He's their top goal scorer, I believe, with 8 goals. I think up front, 8 goals, 3 assists this season. So not doing too bad. But they haven't got anyone who's been killing it in terms of goals scored. I think I think he's with 8 goals is their top goal scorer. But they are in good form, especially at home under Wilder, and he's a good manager. I think he could be. I'm more worried about him than I am about their team, like how he's going to set them up, and because he's so good at getting more than the sum of its parts.
And we saw that with his teams at Sheffield United in the Premier League. You know, the first year Sheffield United were in the Premier League, they were brilliant, weren't they? Absolutely brilliant with that overlapping centre-backs and stuff like that. I mean, they gave everyone a hard game, didn't they, in that first year? Second year, they got found out a little bit, and I'm not sure what happened, but the wheels fell off in that second year. But first year, they were brilliant, weren't they?
Yeah, I think the first year, it was just a miracle how they performed, and I think it was only going to be a matter of time before those players kind of got found out or reverted back to type, and they couldn't keep up those levels that Wilder was getting out of them for too long. And also they didn't invest too much or anything really in their second season. I think they signed just Ryan Brewster up front, and that was never going to be a sustainable solution. So he ended up leaving. I don't know whether he left because he felt like he'd gone as far as he could with that club, or I couldn't remember if he ended up getting sacked in the end. He left mid-season, but he's a brilliant manager. I'm surprised no one in the Premier League went for him. I think he's a Premier League manager. In my opinion, and where are Borough now? Are they in the playoffs?
8th.
How far off the playoffs
2
are
points
they?
Off the playoffs.
I reckon they'll hit the playoffs before the end of the season. The way things are going.
It's interesting because they're only 1 point below Sheffield United. Them two going at loggerheads each other for the playoffs.
Fair enough. I think he's just such easy. I think he took them over. I think from League One, wasn't he? Or he took Sheffield United over, and then he took them to the Premier League, and got them mid-table, and did a great job. And also, they're a very solid team, but they can play some good football as well. Like with the overlapping fullbacks, that's how he plays with the overlapping centre backs, 3 at the back. But they like to get forward a lot, and he showed with players who maybe aren't so good how he was able to get results. So that's definitely something to watch out for in this game. But with the quality we have, it's all about just as long as we don't take this game lightly, we'll be fine. Because the quality we have is so superior to what they have.
In terms of taking the game lightly, and in terms of Antonio Conte, what sort of team do you think we're going to put out? How many changes? Because there's not actually that much we can do. But do you think that we're going to see a Steven Bergwijn? Do you think the midfield kind of picks itself because there are only 2 fit midfielders unless we put a Harvey White or someone like that in? Do you think we see these kind of players?
Yeah, I think we have to play Winks and Højbjerg. I think we got no choice, unfortunately. That's just the reality of the situation. And also, not just that, we do have a bit of a break because we're playing on Monday night, so we have a 6-day break between now and between tomorrow and the Everton game. So I wouldn't be surprised, actually, if it's fairly strong. I think the likes of Bergwijn and potentially Lucas will play. I think I wouldn't be I think Kane has to play because he's our only focal point.
Even if he has one leg.
Yeah, I think he has to play. That's just reality. I think maybe Reguilon potentially comes in, but I think centre backs again. Maybe Sanchez comes in, but I think Dyer and I don't think Rodon comes in. I think it will only be Sanchez potentially. I think Dyer definitely plays, and I think Davis probably plays as well. So I reckon we might rest Romero, put Sanchez in. So I think it'll be a few changes, but I think the main players, I think like the spine of the team will be kept.
I feel so bad for Joe Rodon. I mean, he never gets a look in, never gets a chance. And even in an FA Cup game against a Championship side, still not going to get a chance.
I know, but I feel like, unfortunately, this is a big game.
Yeah. So
I want to go. I think, like, you can afford to put a Bergwijn in or Lucas, but like I wouldn't want to risk putting Rodon in. That's just how I feel. I think Conte might feel the same.
Interesting. I think Reguilon definitely comes back in for this one. I mean, he hasn't played in a while. Obviously, he had COVID and what have you. And I think Sessegnon is playing well. So I think Sessegnon has actually got the shirt in the Premier League games, and I think that he'll put Reguilon in for this one and then put Sessegnon probably back in for the league game.
Yeah, talking about Sessegnon, there's rumours now, according to the Times, that he's set to sign a new contract.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's good.
It's good. I'm not saying it's not good, but is it a bit early? Like, has he like, how many years has he got left? I think he must have signed a 5-year deal. So he's probably got 2 years left at the end of the season. I guess maybe it's not early, but because he would have been there 3 years, I guess, at the end of the season.
His contract runs out in 2025.
Yes, that's 2 years. So he signed a 6-year deal. He signed a 6-year deal. Oh, so he's got another 3 years left. So do we really need to be giving him a new contract? Surely, like, as much as I'm not saying I don't like him. I think he's playing well at the moment, but it's only a good spell. Like, surely you want him to prove it.
It's all about how much Conte believes in him. And if Conte really believes in him and thinks he can be an important player in the future, then I'm all for it. I think, why not?
Just because I think, because first he's got 3 years left. Secondly, he's only really starting to show now what he's all about and proving his worth. I don't think has he played well enough over the course of 3 years to earn a new contract. Probably not. Only recently. So I want him to show it over a longer period before we say to him, look, you've earned a new contract. I don't feel he's earned it yet. That's my feeling.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but I think that, look, he's come in this season, he's done well at times, but before this season, he's never showed anything. He hasn't showed anything. But it's all about what the inner workings of the club think of him, Antonio Conte and his coaching staff. And if they really believe in him, then I fully back them giving him a new contract.
Fair enough.
And I think that's what it comes down to at the end of the day.
Yeah, I'm excited by what he's showing. I think we're finally starting to see. I think first of all, under Conte, he's got the best manager to get the best out of him and improve him. He knows how to play wing backs, and I think he's finally starting to get to grips with things because we're definitely seeing more confidence in his play. He's using his pace and his strength. We're definitely seeing a bit more quality as well when he gets on the left-hand side. We saw when he was at Fulham in the Championship that he has the ability to score goals. Even as a young player, he was 16 or 17 when he was banging in goals in the Championship from the left wing. So he's shown that he's capable of doing that. So it's about him getting up to speed with the Premier League, getting physically ready, which I think he's getting there. And I think this kid, again, he's so young. He's 21? Like he's 2021. He joined as an 18-year-old, so he's got so much time left on his side. People wrote him off way too quickly, I think. And I am excited about. I'm not saying I'm not excited by what he can do and what he's showing at the moment. I am. I'm just saying it. Like I feel like he's had a good run of form, and we're rushing in a new contract. I feel like maybe just wait till the end of the season. Maybe they are, and obviously he hasn't signed anything anyway. So maybe it's just rumours. So.
Yeah, look,
yeah, maybe they are waiting to the end of the season.
Look, it is just rumours. I mean, we can't read into it too much.
It's just from the Times. Gary Jacob is saying Tottenham lining up a new contract for Sessegnon.
But if we do give him a new contract, I think that'll be down to what Conte and the coaching staff think of him. And if they do, there's no reason why we shouldn't, because Conte knows more than all of us. He sees him in training every single day, and he's also started to get performances out of him. So I completely back it if that's the case.
Yeah, and I'm just happy we have. That left side now looks pretty strong with him and Reguilon fighting out for the left wing-back role. It takes the pressure off Reguilon a bit in terms of him having to play every game like he was like first half of the season. And now hopefully Sessegnon is given more confidence. And do you think maybe I know, maybe it's a bit early to talk about it, but you look at the left-back role at the moment for England. We know Southgate likes to play three at the back a lot of the time, or some he's done it before. You've got Luke Shaw there, you've got Chilwell there. Who's got a long-term injury. If Sessegnon keeps keeps playing well for us, and we start doing well in the league, could he start getting England caps? Do you reckon?
It's a big ask. I mean, I think when Chilwell comes back, I think they'll be fighting it out. Shaw and Chilwell.
Who else is there? Shaw and Chilwell. Who else is there? I can't think off the top of my head. Who's more England? Because Ashley Young was at the World Cup, but he's obviously well out of the picture now.
I think Sessegnon's got a long way to go to fight his way in between Shaw and Chilwell.
Yeah, but if one of them's injured, could he be back? Who else is there?
I can't think who else we got at left.
Well, the English left backs are there, people. I can't think off the top of my head what other English left backs there are, especially left wing backs.
If there's an injury, there's always a chance. But I think that right now, if I know Chilwell's injured, but by let's say the summer or something, he should be back. So
he'll be back for the World Cup, yeah, for sure.
So the World Cup's even later than that. It's in December. So
Cresswell, yeah, but Cresswell's old now. I don't think he's getting in for England.
Yeah, but Cresswell is old, but you got to say Cresswell is a better player than Sessegnon right now.
Danny Rose, Hudson-Odoi, yeah, Danny Rose ain't getting anywhere. Yeah, but he's not going to call up a 32-year-old Cresswell.
It depends if he trusts him more than Sessegnon.
I don't think he would have called him up by now. I don't think he.
Well, he didn't call him up by now because he's had left backs that have been fit and playing well in terms of Chilwell.
No, Rose, like Danny Rose, was ahead of him. Like he played Ashley Young ahead of him.
Yeah.
So I think. Look, Cresswell was a decent left back. I'm not saying he's bad, but I think he would rather pick. I know, knowing Southgate, how he likes to trust the younger players, I'm pretty sure he'd rather call up Sessegnon and build him up rather than call up Cresswell. I can't imagine him calling up a 32-year-old Aaron Cresswell. James Justin, someone said, yeah, he's decent.
Yeah, he's also had his injury problems this year.
He's had a big
James
injury.
Justin, but I actually really rate Justin. I think he's a top quality fullback. Yeah. I really do.
I think he's a more natural right back than left back.
He can play both though.
Yeah, he can. Lamptey, but he's more right. Tyrick Mitchell from Crystal Palace. That's a fair comment. He looks good as well. But Sessegnon's the only one who's kind of more consistently playing left wing back, which England do like to play a back three. So look, there's not much competition there. So I think definitely, and Conte said as well. What was it in the recent press conference that he could be a very important player for Tottenham and for England?
Yeah, he needs more game time, more consistent game time if he's going to get any thought of the England running. Right now, it's way too early to say, in my opinion. I think he needs a consistent run of games over a long stretch of time before he's considered for the England role.
Yeah, he does, but I'm saying the competition, he's there. I think he's in the conversation. When you talk about after, if you take Shaw and Chilwell out of it, he's definitely in the conversation.
If you take Shaw and yeah, of course. Well, look, again, he needs a run of games, and if he's just playing a bit part role like he has been, a few games here, a few games there, then he won't be considered for it. I don't think.
No, I'm not saying he's going to the World Cup. I'm just saying right now there actually isn't too many left backs out there.
Yeah.
So I think definitely that should drive him on as well. That should be even more incentive. And I'm liking what I'm seeing from Sessegnon at the moment. But anyway, Hopefully, we'll see if he starts tomorrow or if Reguilon gets the nod. But the recession with the new contract, I am liking what I'm seeing from him.
Definitely in the last few games as well. I mean, Kyle Walker-Peters, people are saying in the comments, I know he's naturally more of a natural right, but he's also been playing sometimes on the left too.
Again,
and he's had a really good season, Kyle Walker-Peters. So could he be in with the running?
Potentially, but again, I've never actually liked him at left back. I think he's one of those players who can do a job at left back, but he doesn't thrive there. He plays really well when he's at right back, and when he's at left back, he's kind of like a steady option, but he doesn't get forward as well as he does when he's a right back. I feel he's not as much as a threat. I think when he's been a right back this season, Walker-Peters, he's been brilliant. I think he's been, and England are blessed with so many right backs.
Yeah,
so like we've got, it's ridiculous how many right backs England have. That's not even like we have some of the best in the world. I think if you were picking anyone's selection of right backs, you'd have to go with England's, like in the world football, because it's just ridiculous. You've got Trent there, who doesn't even start every game.
Reece
James,
Trippier,
Wan-Bissaka.
Yeah.
You got and you got Kyle Walker-Peters, you got
James Justin,
Max Aarons, like that's even moving all the way down. Like you've got so many. Kyle Walker-Peters. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That guy from Rangers as well. I think he's English, isn't
Tavernier.
he? Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
So right back situation is definitely blessed for England. But back on the game, how do you think the game's going to pan out, and what's your score prediction?
Yeah, we just want to avoid going extra time and penalties, because that's probably what they're looking for. I think when you saw at Old Trafford, like as soon as they got the goal, it was sharp shot, batten down the hatches, park the bus, and take your. It was kind of like it will take our chances with penalties, kind of thing. So we've got to make sure we avoid that situation. We've got to be clinical. I think against Leeds, we showed how clinical we can be. When we have the players there, so I think we're going to win. I'm confident we're going to win. I'm going to go 2-1.
That's a bad omen.
I know. Whenever we're not confident, that's usually when we get the result. But I'm going to go 2-1. I think we'll get a couple of moments of quality. I think they'll probably, with the home crowd behind them in an FA Cup game, it's a cup clash. So I reckon they might get a goal from somewhere. But I think we should have too much for them. And I just hope we don't go to extra time with penalties. But I'm going to go 2-1 Spurs.
2-1. All right, who's going to get the goals?
Going to go with Kane and Bergwijn.
Ooh, Bergwijn to get on the score sheet.
Yeah,
Why
not?
I'm going to go 2-0 Spurs. I think that if we play if we stick with the team that we have been playing with the defence with Dyer, Romero and Davis, I'm not saying we will, but if we do, I think that defence should be a bit too solid, and I trust that defence to keep them out.
Do you think, seeing as it's 6 days away from Everton, does he go just unchanged, or does he make changes?
If I was Conte right now, I would go with our strongest team because it's so long until our next game. That's just me personally, but I got a feeling that Conte might mix it up a bit just to give a few more players the chance, because other players need a chance as well. Because we've got other players that have been on the bench, like a Bergwijn, like a Rodon, like a Sanchez, these kind of players who have performed well this season. Bergwijn, scored 2 goals against Leicester, played really well against West Ham. He's come in and done okay in other games as well. So I think Bergwijn has been a bit unlucky in terms of not getting enough minutes. I'm not sure what the Lucas Moura situation is, but if he is fit, I actually expect Lucas to play if he's fit, because he's been one of our best players this season. Yeah, he's gone off the boil a bit recently, but he's definitely a first-team player, and it's a bit unfortunate that Kulu's come in and oust him out the team pretty much. So I think Lucas Moura does deserve a bit more minutes than he has been, but obviously he's injured at the moment, and I'm not sure what the situation is.
Problem is, if we start Højbjerg and Winks, one of them gets injured.
Yeah,
it's not a very good situation, is it? Although we did hear from ITK that Bentancur should be fit for Everton, didn't we?
Yeah.
So let's hope that's true. But and Ollie Skip as well. I'm hoping he's not too far along as well.
Let's hope so. But in this game, I fully expect it to be Højbjerg and Winks.
It has to be. We don't have a choice.
Yeah. So
unless you want to play Harvey White,
I would go as strong as possible, but I wouldn't be surprised if we did see a Bergwijn or a Sanchez or even a Rodon. I wouldn't be surprised. But in terms of a scoreline, I'm going to go 2-0 Spurs. I think we can keep them out on the other end. And I think we can take our chances as well with Kane and Son playing well at the moment. Kane being as ruthless as he's being from every area of the pitch. I'm going to go 2-0 to Spurs, and I'm going to go for Harry Kane to score 2 goals. So that's my prediction. I want to know your predictions in the comment section below. That is our match preview.